Okay, so this happened. JP, we're in the middle of the 7.7777 download celebration, and we got Arthur, which was a really cool character, a free-to-play character technically because he's a banner, but you get 7 multis into banner for free, and the 7th multi hasn't guaranteed, but there was no summonable unit, right? Well, now they're dropping this. There's gonna be a live stream in 12 hours. They're gonna be revealing his details. All we know now is this data mined clip that some Korean guy got. Very fishy, but you know, it works. The clip works. So yeah, we're getting a live stream roughly 12 hours from the time we're recording this video. So expect the whole, like, all the stat, like what his cards do and everything in about 12 hours from where I'm posting this video, or something like that. They're doing the live stream with the usuals. If you have already watched the JP live stream, they also have a Korean one, which I might actually watch the Korean one, and they also bring in this weeb. I don't know what he's doing there. Look at this profile picture, but it's alright. Yeah, the clip, let me play it. My friend JD posted on his Twitter.
화질이 좀 안 좋은데.
That's it. That's the whole clip. The one thing though is that it's very interesting because every single character that we have as an SSR repeats their ultimate attacks. So we have Meliodas, right? And we only have actually 2 SSR Meliodas. We have the green one, which everyone knows about, counter Meliodas, and we have the Halloween one, which the Halloween one had the same ultimate, but if you had the costume, the ultimate would be like Halloweenish, but he was the same ultimate. Every single character, if you go down to like literally every single character, their SSR version of the same character has the same ultimate. These 2 bonds have the same ultimate. These 2 bonds have the same ultimate. Like this bond and this bond doesn't have the same ultimate. It's because they're different characters, right? So what I'm thinking is that actually this is a different Meliodas. This will be LOSTVAYNE Meliodas, because characters have different forms, and I think it would be interesting for Meliodas to have another one. Particularly Elizabeth can have a new one soon, right? Elizabeth has regular Elizabeth and Elihawk. She could have a winged Elizabeth. So we're starting to see characters have a 3rd form, when prior we only had the characters have 2 forms, if I'm not mistaken. So that's really good. So this is the new ultimate for the LOSTVAYNE Meliodas. So he pulls out his counter, his columns,
화질이 좀 안 좋은데.
and just Fudu counter. It's actually pretty neat. Like the whole ultimate attack is pretty neat, but we just don't know what he does yet. I can very well theorize what he does because he will be a full counter unit, and we can, like, you know, talk about other full counter units as well. Now, one thing to note on JP. Oh, nice. It wasn't set up. Nice. On JP, we got the free multis from login, right, with Elizabeth, and we had these tickets that had Meliodas in the thing. Now, if I translate this, right, I tried translating it from Japanese using Google Translate, and my friend Naoki knows Japanese, and she told me that this is just a single, right? So I'm assuming this is just a single. In the Meliodas banner, there's not going to be a free multi like Arthur, but 7 singles we're going to have in the Meliodas banner. Some lucky guys out there, they're going to pull the new Meliodas from these tickets, but I'm not counting on that. That's why I did charge up. I have like 500 gems already, because as soon as I saw the clip, I knew I'm gonna do 2 dual summons, because I know I'm gonna want to go deep for Meliodas. Like, it's Meliodas, come on. And we finally have a new Meliodas, because base Meliodas wise, we only have 1 summonable Meliodas in banners. This green one. And then we have Blue DM Meliodas, which is also summonable in banners. Like, in total, we only have 2 summonable Meliodas in banners. He's the main character. Like, this guy, I mean, of course this guy is also there, but he's an SR. This guy is exclusive to Halloween, so he's not in banners. This guy's a corner shop, and this guy is exclusive to New Year, so he's not in banners. We only have 2 banner Meliodas, and he's the main character. While if you go in other characters, right, how many banner Meliodas does Bond have? 1, 2, 3... Freaking DN has 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like, come on, Meliodas deserves more. And I think introducing a new version of him is better. They could actually be, he could be the same Meliodas, right? Oh, actually, I almost forgot. Let me bring up his skills real quick. So in the files, right, we have these 2 skills that were never used in any Meliodas, as far as I'm aware. And this skill is actually named Demon Meliodas, because in the files, this skill is named Icon Meliodas Sword Skill 3, which again, never was used. And the other one's called Icon Meliodas Demon. So I don't know, this might not be his, but it looks like a counter card because it's yellow, right? It looks like a stance card, so he 100% will be a counter unit. There's no way LOSTVAYNE Meliodas will not be a counter unit. So he must be a counter unit, unless they just don't, which would be very unlikely. Please be a counter unit. I love counter units. My favorite unit in the game is Estarossa, and I really hope they do what they do with him. So Estarossa applies a taunt, and so the enemies have to attack him, and then he counters as many times as they attack him, right? So with LOSTVAYNE Meliodas though, I think he will be more like this, where he only counters once. Or he could be different. I don't think he's gonna be like this, right? No way. He's gonna be like Outburst counter. He's not gonna be the more damage you take, the more damage you deal back. He's probably just gonna be a regular counter unit. And he could be the first AoE counter unit. So there was a quote-unquote leak. It wasn't a leak, it was fake. But there was someone's spreading on Twitter that they found the skills and that he would be an AoE counter unit. And he could be. Like, the guy was not too far off. And he would be the first unit to have an AoE counter, because if I go here in skill effects, right? Counter. So these are the only counters in the game. Estarossa we already talked about, this guy we talked about. You might know what SR Meliodas does. It's pretty much Estarossa, but without the taunt. Fat King and Hauser. So how they work is that they assume a stance if the ally gets attacked, he counters. And so does Hauser. And I think that's a perfect opportunity for them to do the same thing with Meliodas. If they attack an ally or himself, then he counters. And the counter could be AoE, right? That would be such a stupid ability, and they could 100% do it. Because what I'm talking here, he is Meliodas. He has to be broken. So if they can make a skill where if they attack whoever in your team he can counter, that'll be really good. And you're like, oh, that might be too broken for PvP. Well, Estarossa is almost like that. Estarossa, they have to attack him because the taunt, unless they take away his taunt, which is very, very hard. They need to take away buffs, right? And it's not as broken as Estarossa because there's no way they're gonna copy his passive, right? His passive makes so he cannot be debuffed when he's on his counter state. So I doubt Meliodas is gonna have something like that, but he's probably gonna have some. If they are designing him smart, he's gonna have some protection against Petrify or Freeze, and that would be really nice. I just have really high hopes for this guy. I really hope they don't mess him up because Meliodas deserves a super top tier card. He already has, like, Blue Demon Meliodas is a really good card. Like, still to this day, he's meta in PvP, but because of how many counters there are for him, right? We have Valente, we have King. It's just less and less people use him because he's just so easy to counter, right? Still very prevalent though, very prevalent. But when we talk about like the normal Meliodas, right? Counter melee, he's pretty good for story, but that's it. And then freaking SR melee, no one uses him, and Heli melee is terrible. He's like bottom 5 worst SSRs in the game. Worst units in the game in general, right? Counting the SSRs, SRs, and Rs. So we needed some representation from base Meliodas. And if he is a regular base Meliodas, right? If he doesn't change the name, he will have these stats, which are not very good. Base melee doesn't have the best stats. 20% pierce rate, 30% resistance. These stats are not very good. That's why I'm actually really hoping he's a different named character. If he's a different named character, he could have something more like Demon Meliodas, because Demon Meliodas has really good stats, and he has 40% pierce. He has less resistance, but 40% pierce, 50% crit chance. I really hope they mimic more the Demon Meliodas kind of stats, because base melee deserves better. Base melee needs to be buffed. Like, here's the thing, they can easily just buff him. They do buffs all the time. They can easily, if they do drop him as a regular base melee, just like these ones, They could easily buff all the base melees in the game, stats-wise. Give them more pen, or pierce, give them more resistance, give them more crit chance, give them more crit damage. Because this guy, right, he has 170, which is actually pretty good, but he could have more. He's based on doing crits, right? So, sorry I had to make a cut, and I forgot where I was. I really hope they don't make him an exclusive unit for like a celebration or anything. I really hope he's just a regular banner unit, right? After his banner leaves, he stays in the Generous SR pool, he goes to the part 2 ticket and all of that. And I hope Lost Vein is either with him, so if you pull him, you get Lost Vein, or is just like Rifa. If you don't know Escanor, the only way till this day you could have acquired Rifa is if you were playing when he came out, this magnificent X. If you were playing when he came out, there was an event where you could get Rifa for free. So I really hope they do something like that, where but then people wouldn't be able to get it like a later date. It's like a really cool thing to have the special weapon, right, and be exclusive, right? If you were playing when he came out, now you have him, and people that they're gonna play afterwards will never have him, right? It's really cool, but I'm also in the side of I want everyone to be able to acquire. So I hope that by pulling him, you get the Lost Vein. That's probably the best case scenario. Don't make it like 60 gems or something like that. I really or paid. Right, I really want them to just drop it, and yeah, that's pretty much about it. I have high hopes. This update is gonna be really good. People were not very happy with the update we got for the $7 million download celebration because it wasn't much content. We got the Hendrickson fight, which is cool, but you can only do once a day, and then we had the Exodia / Pikachu, which was alright. It was too easy. So people were not very happy with that. But I hope they actually drop Super Boss. Super Boss King in the end should be coming out, so I really hope those activities are going to be really good. Because King, they should change the points to actually be the new system. That's going to be really cool, and so will be the end. And hopefully they'll drop more activities. New chapter, maybe they'll drop the new chapter already. That'll be pretty cool. So yeah, that's pretty much about it. Thank you guys for watching.